Hi guys, this is lesson 11 on the anatomy of the pelvis. Now the pelvic girdle is made up of three bony areas. The ilium, I've got a little picture here. The ilium is in yellow here. When you put your hands on the top of what we call your hips, that's the iliac crest. And if we bring our hands forward to the little bumps that are in front, that area is called the ASIS, the anterior superior iliac spine. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. So the ilium, or the part of the bone right on the side. Now the ischium contains the ischial tuberosities. That's the rocker-like area that you're sitting on right now, if you're sitting on a chair. In the front, here, the pink, this is a picture that is viewing the pelvis from the front. And the pink part is the ischium. The blue part in front is the pubis. And right where it joins the right-left side of the pelvis is called the pubic symphysis. So those three areas, so there are one bone on each side, right, where the ilium joins with the sacrum in the back is called the SI joint or sacroiliac joint. So it's named for the two bones that are joining there. So your SI joint is the sacroiliac joint, and that's in the front. So why is it important to know these? Well, if you're in, let me turn sideways for this. If you've got your ASIS in front of your pubic bone, you'll be in a arched or sway back position. If the ASIS is behind the pubic bone, and you're tucked under then. So it's nice to know when you're lying on the ground, when you're sitting in a chair, or when you're standing up. The two ASISs and the pubic area should be flat, should be leveled. That is a neutral pelvis. So let's take a moment and explore where that is and how it feels when your pelvis is in neutral. All right, let me have you start by lying on the ground, placing your feet in line with your knees, in line with your hips. So they're not together, they're just hip distance apart. Good. And first, without any use of your hands, I want you to just explore a slow rocking movement at the pelvis. Just tipping your pelvis back towards the top of the pelvis, right? That would be like tucking under. And slowly tipping it front, which is like arching your back. I can now slide my hand underneath the small of my back. All right, so that's the movement we're going to look at. Now place your hand so you've got your heel, just like I talked about, on the front of your hip. That's the ASIS, anterior superior iliac spine. Your fingertips should go down and you can touch your pubic bone there. And your thumbs are pointing towards each other. Now, as you're just lying there, check to see, is that pretty level? Now let's deliberately try to take the pubic bone up towards the ceiling and the ASIS back. You can feel how that tucks under your pelvis. Now let's see what happens when you start to arch and your ASIS now are higher than your pubic bone. That's a sway back or arching of your back. So bring it back to the point that it's neutral. Awesome. That's where our pelvis wants to live. That's where we want to move our legs from, is from this neutral pelvis. That's where we want to stand, is from a neutral pelvis.